We're back in the chairs.
We're back on the screen.
We're back with the breakdown.
Welcome back to the Breakdown, DHS. I'm Everett Campbell.
And I'm Suhela Lamba.
We'd like to start today's episode off with a more serious topic revolving around the deployment of the National Guard in Washington, D.C. and how it's affected our DHS alumni.
We'll return to school news after this segment. Sam Ochsner-Hembrow reported firsthand.
On August 11, 2025, President Donald Trump declared an emergency in Washington, D.C., citing an alleged explosion in crime, vandalism, and homelessness. He took control of the district's police and deployed the D.C. National Guard, who were joined by Guard units from 6 states. Without approval from Congress, the emergency expired on September 11th. Still, D.C. Guard members remained in the city, authorized through December. Despite the reduced numbers, their presence is still felt by the community.
I've noticed the National Guard a lot because they're in every single metro station standing there doing nothing. They're by every single monument standing there doing nothing. They're deployed in just the strangest ways. I don't feel any more or less safe than I would have if they weren't here. They really don't do much in the areas where law enforcement is actually needed.
On September 17th, Guard units across the city were seen carrying M4 rifles. While they had been authorized to carry these weapons since first being deployed to the city, this was the first time many DC residents had noticed them being carried in some areas. Before, most soldiers carried only their sidearms.
Within the past month that the National Guard has been here, there has been a decrease in crime, but I wouldn't say that we feel safe. Seeing members of the military pull up to our daily events, it just doesn't feel good seeing people with their long rifles walking in full military attire.
Violent crime in the district surged during and immediately following the COVID-19 pandemic. But even before the Guard's deployment, the crime rate was trending downwards. Between 2023 and 2024, the violent crime rate dropped 35%, while the month after the deployment saw an even greater drop. Some say it doesn't feel like the soldiers' presence has helped much.
I would say I feel safe here in general. I don't think the National Guard really changed that as much as people may think. There's things that you see that are kind of scary, there's rough patches everywhere. However, in general, I would argue DC is a very safe city. I respect them as, people and everything, and I don't harass them, but they don't really seem that useful.
President Trump has floated the idea of federalizing the district's police again, which Davis Senior High alum and current Georgetown student Lena Kim called an irresponsible use of resources. DC isn't the first city where the Guard has been used to keep the peace, and it might not be the last. Guard units were deployed in LA to counter massive protests over the administration's immigration policy, and the president has since proposed further deployments to cities such as Chicago, Memphis, New York, and San Francisco. For the Breakdown, this is Sam Ochsner-Hembrow.
I'm telling you, Suhela, my putt-putt is on point. I got one in a bush, one in a pond, and one in the hole. I could be out there with the pros.
Really, Everett? You probably had the most points. I actually was out there with the pros last Thursday.
No kidding. Wasn't that DHS versus Oak Ridge?
You bet. I was there. Let's go check it out. What's up, DHS? Welcome back to Sideline Squad. I'm at Wild Horse, and the girls are getting ready to tee off against Oak Ridge. Let's check it out. On Wednesday, September 17th, the Davis High girls golf team teed off against Oak Ridge. Davis was hosting the visiting Trojans at Wild Horse Golf Course, and the first group to tee off for Davis included senior Maher JG and junior Bella Trask. 6 golfers from each team competed hard, especially considering that the match fell on one of the hottest days of the week. Davis players calmly sank putts at each hole, and girls from both teams encouraged each other after nice drives and chips. Nearly 3 hours after tee-off, the last group of golfers made it to the 9th and final hole. Davis put up a good fight against the reigning Sac Joaquin Section Girls Masters Golf Champions. They ultimately lost the match by 12 strokes with a final score of 221 to 233. Junior Lily Lindblom led the team with a score of 41, followed by JG with 43 and Trask with 44. So how do you think this match went for you personally?
I think it was okay for one of the first matches, and it was pretty hot, so considering that, I think pretty good.
Solid performances from Davis weren't enough to catch Oak Ridge's consistency across the board, and their top player with a match-high score of 38. Luckily for the Blue Devils, they're just getting started. This match against Oak Ridge marked their first league match, as well as their first one at home. This is Suhela Lamba for the Brakedown.
Oh, shoot, Suhela, I gotta start getting ready for homecoming.
Yep, keep an eye out for our HOCO coverage next week.
I'm excited for all the festivities. Here's StudGov with more.
What's up, DHS? We're back with your StudGov announcements. First of all, homecoming is in full swing, and coming up on Friday is your homecoming parade starting at 1:30 in the Central Park.
If you're in a class, club, or sport, make sure to look out for announcements for float building this week.
And it's for Spirit Day, so tomorrow is Aphrodite Day, so make sure you're dressing up as someone you admire. And Friday will be Whiteout.
Also on Friday is our awesome homecoming game. It's at 7:15 p.m. in the big stadium, so be there in the Bemis Whiteout.
This Saturday is our homecoming dance in the North Gym at 7 p.m., so be there.
And for whoever wins the homecoming door deck this year, you will win this massive trophy!
That is all we have for you guys today. StudGov out!
It's going to be an exciting weekend, so have fun at the game.
The parade.
And the dance.
We'll tell you all about how it went next week
on the Brakedown.